Welcome to episode 2 of Nintendo Innuendo, aka Nintenuendo. Ninnuendo? I'm going to need some help finalizing that name. Anyway, this series is a stubby branch from the wispy woods that is Dark Aspects, where, rather than the scary and serious, I talk about anything suggestive and sensual, hidden within the world of Nintendo games. Today's video will be shorter than this boss fight, since there's just one thing to talk about. But I wanted to give the topic its own dedicated spotlight because of just how shocking it is. So to dive right in, the 5th level of the Red Canyon world in Kirby's Dream Land 2 features a vertical scrolling room with star blocks, and a formation that clearly and crudely depicts a naked, or at least topless, woman. This isn't too obvious in the actual game if you don't know to look out for it past the smiley face, since the screen is zoomed in and doesn't allow for you to observe the entire image all at once. This is not the case externally though. Both official and unofficial strategy guides typically print full course maps in all their glory, so a full spread of the art here was physically displayed in a Japanese published book. I honestly don't know how on Planet Popstar the level designers got away with this one. And it doesn't even end at the drawing. The enemy placement makes this ordeal even raunchier, with 2 rocky enemies nuzzled on these bosom blocks. Yes, I'm proud of that alliteration. And a pair of parasol waddle-dees probably alluding to a G-string. Most shocking though is a spiky down below, acting as a stand-in for pubic hair. Remember too that this enemy gives Kirby the now phallic needle ability. Yep, we are still talking about a Kirby game here. And it's not as if they're trying to hide who's responsible, as the map designers are specifically credited at the end. Here we have Hideki Fuji, Kensuke Tanabe, and Shinichi Shimomura himself, who's also the director of this game and its sequels. As for which one in particular is to blame and why, I highly doubt it was just one of these 3 sneaking in something obscene to spite the company, as none of them lost their jobs, so it was probably just a risky and risque joke. I would place my bets on Fuji at least kickstarting the stunt, since he's supposedly listed as the game's illustrator in the Japanese manual for Dreamland 2 as well. The sole picture I could find of the guy online doesn't exactly help his case either. Doesn't this look like the face of a man who just got away with hiding a pornographic image in a Kirby game? I have my suspicions about Tanabe too, since plenty of the games he's worked on throughout the years have similarly questionable content in them. From Super Mario RPG back in 1996 to something as recent as the Origami King in 2020. Regardless, the individual, or party responsible, turned what was likely an inside development prank into a spectacle for the public to find in the final version. And whether they were testing the waters to see if anyone would even notice, or they just thought it was really funny, an explicit drawing is forever tied to a game with the names of Nintendo's most famous representatives attached to it. Do you resent this rudimentary representation of the female form in an all-ages title, or respect the sheer audacity of these creators? Nevertheless, it's a surprising relic of Kirby's history we can expect to never see revisited, unless it's in another unaltered re-release of Dreamland 2, of course. It's so interesting because if something so obviously sexual was ever discovered in a Kirby title nowadays, the internet would be on top of it immediately, and Nintendo would have to issue a press release with answers, right? That's all of the vulgar content there is in Kirby as a series though, which is plenty. But if you want more surprising Kirby secrets, be sure to check out my full Dark Aspects video if you haven't already, which covers the trilogy helmed by the aforementioned Shimomura, and its eye-opening final boss encounters. Please be on the lookout for more Dark Aspects of Kirby in the future too. I hope to eventually cover every mainline game because really, they're all worth talking about, for Dark Aspects and otherwise. Thanks for watching.